Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's great to have you. Let's stand and let's sing if you are so inclined. Thank you for this day. Here we go. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. Thank you for my friends, Spirit. Thank you for my friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. My wonderful, my wonderful, my wonderful friends. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. Thank you for my health, Spirit. Thank you for my health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. My radiant, my radiant, my radiant health. In your life, thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. Thank you for my life, Spirit. Thank you for my life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. My glorious, my glorious, my glorious life. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. Thank you for my wealth, Spirit. Thank you for my wealth. My opulent, my opulent, my opulent wealth. My opulent, my opulent. And thanks for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. Thank you for this day, Spirit. Thank you for this day. This healing, this healing, this healing day. This healing, this healing, this healing day.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's nice to see all of you here this morning with your bright, smiley faces. My name is Amy Cover, and I am your trustee on duty today. On behalf of Reverend Donna Maurer and the Board of Trustees, I am privileged to welcome you here to the Sonoran Desert Center for Spiritual Living. Whoever you are and wherever you are on your spiritual path, you are encouraged to be all that you are meant to be. Our vision statement is love in action, every day, in every way. We express this love by learning and living the principles of the science of mind. On the back of your programs, you will find our Declaration of Principles. Please join me in reading them now. I believe there is an infinite intelligence operating throughout the universe. I believe this intelligent power is only good. I believe this intelligence expresses as me. I believe through my conscious use of this power, I create my life as happy, healthy, and complete, and so it is. Do we have any first-time visitors this morning? Would you like to introduce yourself? You may stand. Do we have first-timers? Yes? Couple. Good morning. Jules Smith, welcome. We're glad you're here.
Oh, I'm from Green Valley.
From Green Valley. We're glad you're here. Welcome.
Good morning, everyone. My wife, Rosie, and I'm Charlie Brown. We're from Big Harbor, Washington.
Rosie and Charlie Brown from Gig Harbor, Washington. Brother and sister-in-law visiting our lovely people here, Maria and Bruce. And we have another couple.
Hi, I'm Diane Russell, and I am a staff minister in San Diego.
Oh, good morning, visitors from San Diego. Great to have you with us. Don. Yes.
My stepdaughter, Lynn Nice from California, and my daughter, Tina Green from Minnesota.
Welcome. Visitors from Minnesota, and yes.
Well, I'm not new, but my name is Steve Kirk, and this is my wife, Helen Kirk, and it's been a while
since we've been here. I'm so glad to see you all again.
Well, welcome back. Stephen, good to have you. So that was nice. We have visitors. We have a lot going on. So we invite you to stay after, and we can get to know you, and you can get to know us. I would like to thank the people that make this Sunday celebration possible. And first of all, that is all of you sitting in the chairs. It would not be the same without you. You know how that goes. And I want to thank the ones who make sure that everything is set up and things are in order before we gather here. So thank you all, and you know who you are. We appreciate you. And if you would direct your attention to the announcements that are in your bulletin, and if you're watching online, please visit CSLAZ for our announcements and events calendar. And if you would, please silence your cell phones.
If you'd like to join us in our Namaste song, the words are on the first page of your bulletin. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. The God in me beholds the God in you. It is all for our greatest and highest good. The God in me beholds the God in you, and you and I are one. Namaste. Namaste.
Good morning. My name is Louise, and I am your practitioner today. And first thing I'm going to do is light the candle, just knowing that we are each have a light within us that we take out into the world. No, there's something else I'm supposed to say. So as practitioners, we are the praying arm of the church. So if you have a prayer request, no situation is too small or too big, and we would love to pray for you this week. There is a prayer request box over there, so if you have a prayer, go ahead and put it in there. So let's just get centered and close your eyes, leave them open, but just kind of take a breath and relax. And just know there is one God, one power, one presence in the universe. And I know that that God is the creator of all that is. And I know as the creator, God is peace, love, joy, happiness, truth. And I know that each one of us here today carries those attributes of God within us. And we carry those out to other people that we meet and we encounter. And I know that today's service, that each of us is divinely appointed to be here, to experience this, to have that connection of mind, body, and soul as this service unfolds perfectly as it is meant to be. And so it is. So my reading today is out of the Science of Mind magazine, The Flow of Coming and Going. This is the March-April. And it says, it has two quotes. So the first quote is, humans are made to be companions of the infinite. And then let us live and think that we may retire at night in peace, knowing that no harm can come to the soul. In spiritual studies, we discover that the spiritual nature of humans is perfection. The belief is that God made us whole, perfect, and complete, as the saying goes, at our deepest spiritual depths. Nothing need be added, nothing taken away. All that is necessary for healing is a return to spiritual truth. This makes sense because how could anything be healed, be it a broken bone or a broken heart, if there were not a pattern of wholeness to return to? Without a perfect essence within us, all brokenness would stay broken. We all know that our lives often appear anything but perfect. So where lies the problem? Ernest Holmes gives us a clue when he writes, humans are potentially perfect, but free will and self-choice cause us to appear imperfect. Here it is. From ignorance of who we are and thinking based on limitation and gross unconsciousness, we think in limited, unhappy patterns. Someone is to blame. Life is to blame. We are to blame. There are any number of ways we cover up our own wholeness. It appears we need to return to our basic beliefs. Wholeness is a basis for all life. Therefore, we will need to give up selfishness, greed, self-loathing, censorious judgments, all the states of mind that cause so many misfires. Our divine natures need brand new opportunities to instruct us in the ways of healthy living and a complete appreciation of who we are. And then this closes with an affirmation. I am the place where God stands forth in the world as me. I appreciate my divine origin and live intentionally from love and wisdom. I live from natural wholeness. Namaste. And I take the candle and hold the high watch for each and every one of you today.
When I was a girl each week, Sunday we would go to church, pay attention to the priest. He would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread. Everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is that everything's holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the tide. Moses split the sea in two. Jesus made the water wine. I remember feeling sad. The miracles don't happen still. But now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small, but an even greater magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy waters were at best, barely wet my fingertips, but now I gotta hold my breath, 'cause I'm swimming in a sea of it. Used to be a world half bare, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face, say it's not a testament, that'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come, say it's not a sacrament, I tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood, saw a little red-winged bird, shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse, made me want to bow my head. I remember when church let out, how things have changed since then. Everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Yeah, everything, everything, everything is holy now. Thank you. Namaste.
Good morning. Well, as Heather said, this is the first Sunday in April. And April is the month of Easter, so it's all kinds of things go on for the Christians' religions. Next Sunday is Palm Sunday, and that begins Holy Week, which is the most sacred time in the Christian calendar, marking Jesus' final days on earth and his ultimate sacrifice for humanity. It's a time of deep spiritual reflection, reminding believers of his journey of love, suffering, and redemption. Palm Sunday celebrates Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem, and it's followed by Maundy Thursday, the Last Supper, where Jesus washed his disciples' feet and shared a final meal with them. When I was in Florida, I partnered with the Unity minister, and we did a Maundy Thursday foot washing ceremony, and it really touched me. As a matter of fact, I get goosebumps just thinking about it. And Good Friday remembers his crucifixion, which finally leads to Easter Sunday, celebrating his resurrection and victory over sin and death. So you guys know, I don't often talk about Jesus, and I have trouble with a physical resurrection. But I do believe that Jesus, as our teacher and way shower, was guided by an inner grace that he made public in his words and in his actions. So our theme for the month of April is guided by grace in honor of one of the most enlightened human beings to have walked our planet. Our founder, Dr. Ernest Holmes, tells us there is no particular man predestined to become the Christ. We must understand that Christ is not a person, but a principle. It was impossible for Jesus not to have become the Christ, as the human gave way to the divine, as the man gave way to God, as the flesh gave way to spirit, as the will of division gave way to the will of unity. Jesus, the man, became a living embodiment of the Christ. So the transformation that Jesus experienced really is available to all of us. And as seekers, I think this is what we're doing. We are looking for ways that will lead us through our own conscious transformation to a deeper and more spiritual life. So I've come up with 3 aspects that if we incorporate into our consciousness and our experiences, I think will bring us closer to the grace that guided Jesus. So reverence, wonder, and awe is not only our title today, but it's the aspects that I would like to explore. Having a worldview that is steeped in reverence for all life, our own, others, and the entire world connects us to everything. Wonder keeps us curious and open to surprises. And awe, which combines reverence and wonder, allows us to embrace these connections with a sense of the numinous or the spiritual or the eternal. So I'm beginning with reverence. Albert Schweitzer coined the phrase reverence for life. And I'm going to stop here and tell a little story because my mentor, Dr. William Hornaday, spent time with Schweitzer. And they were having an ant infestation in the compound. So Schweitzer walked around and discovered what the ants really liked. And he had the people take little bowls of that and put it on the outside of the compound. And there were never any more ants on the inside. Reverence for life. But this is his story. He said, well, in Africa, he'd been struggling to put into words his feelings about ethics, civilization, and worldview that transcended anything he had studied in philosophy. And he couldn't quite grasp what he intuitively felt was true. He needed to see a patient miles away, and the only transportation was a small steamer, and the only people on board were Africans. So he settled in to write, and on the 3rd day, he found what he was looking for. And this is his own words. Slowly we crept upstream, laboriously navigating, it was a dry season, between the sandbanks. Lost in thought, I sat on the deck of the barge, struggling to find the elementary and universal concept of the ethical that I had not discovered in any philosophy. I covered sheet after sheet with disconnected sentences merely to concentrate on the problem. 2 days passed. Late on the 3rd day, at the very moment when at sunset we were making our way through a herd of hippopotamuses, there flashed upon my mind, unforeseen and unsought, the phrase, reverence for life. The iron door had yielded, the path in the thicket had become visible. Now I had found my way to the principle in which affirmation of the world and ethics are joined together. Why was this such an aha moment for Schweitzer? So reverence for life is a shorthand for the way we live in the world. When we realize that we have a will to live, that everything has a will to live, and we affirm that will to live both in ourselves and in all things. He writes, affirmation of life is a spiritual act by which we cease to live thoughtlessly and begin to devote ourselves to our life with reverence in order to give it true value. To affirm life is to deepen, to make more inward, and to exalt the will to live. At the same time, we as thinking beings feel a compulsion to give every will to live that same reverence for life that we give to our own. We experience that other life as our own. We accept as good, preserving life, promoting life, developing all life that is capable of development to its highest possible value. When we take this concept to the level that Schweitzer did, then all life becomes valuable and precious. Not only is human life precious, but so is all life, because all life maintains a will to live. And that puts us in connection with everything. It's easy to see this connection with somebody that we love, with a good friend, with another human being, with a pet that we adore. I have a connection with the birds that bathe in the fountain and the lizards that greet me in the walkway when I come to work. But that also means that the cockroach in the bathroom has a will to live. And even as we choose to kill it, we need to be aware of its connection with us. You know, I'm very grateful that my grandparents lived in the Ozarks, and they lived off the land. My grandpa rented fishing boats and cabins, and my grandma's cooking and baking often contained herbs and wild mushrooms and berries. I learned early how to fish, and while I didn't like to hunt, I did watch my father and grandfather skin, clean, and prepare their catches for our dinner meal. Understanding that something needed to die in order for me to live came from those experiences. You know, today you and I, we buy meat at the grocery store, meat and chicken in nice, clean packages that don't have a semblance to the animal that we're eating. You know, those poor little chicken thighs had wings. They had a beak. You know, they were living creatures, but we don't see that in the grocery store. So I feel very lucky that I had the chance to see life as it gave life. Yeah, I remember a long time ago reading of a Native American elder about to die, and he said he did not want his body put into a coffin, but rather to go directly into the soil. He said, "I have fed on many things in my life. Now my body can feed my little brothers of the underworld." That's sweet. I wonder if it would make a difference to us if we could think of worms or even roaches as our little brothers and sisters of the underworld. Schweitzer says the ethic of reverence for life is judged particularly strange because it establishes no dividing line between higher and lower, between more valuable and less valuable life. And it has reasons for this omission. To undertake to establish universally valid distinctions of value between different kinds of life will end in judging them by the greater or lesser distance at which they stand from us human beings. You get that? I think that's a great aha. For me, it's a great aha. So our own judgment, however, is purely a subjective criterion. Who among us knows what significance any kind of life has in itself as part of the universe? Baal Shem Tov, the founder of the Jewish Hasidic movement, asks, in what way is a human being superior to a worm? A worm serves the Creator with all of his intelligence and ability. In this sense, you are both equal in the eyes of heaven. A person should consider himself and the worm and all creatures as friends in the universe, for we are all created beings whose abilities are God-given. If we serve with the best of our ability, we are similar to the other creatures who serve with the best of their abilities. So Reverence for Life gives us a platform on which to walk in the world. It shows us both our physical and spiritual connection to all living things. And then that brings us to wonder. Rabbi Abraham Heschel tells us that we will not perish for want of information, but only for want of appreciation. He says what we lack is not a will to believe, but a will to wonder. Reverence is one of our answers to the presence of mystery. Wonder is defined as a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration, caused by something beautiful, unexpected, unfamiliar, or inexplicable. And the opposite of wonder is to take things for granted, to become indifferent. There are miracles all around us, but we've called them mundane, and so we don't see them. "Excuse me," said an ocean fish. "You are older than I, so can you tell me where to find this thing they call the ocean?" "The ocean," said the older fish, "is what you are in now." "Oh, this is only water. What I'm seeking is the ocean," said the disappointed fish as he swam away to search elsewhere. We are immersed in miracles, you and I, but are they only water to us? We may have to work at seeing the wonder around us, but if we begin anywhere, we will start to see it everywhere. He came to the master in sannyasi robes, and he spoke sannyasi language. "For years I've been seeking God. I have sought him everywhere that he is said to be, on mountain peaks, the vastness of the desert, the silence of the cloister, and the dwellings of the poor." "Have you found him?" the master asked. "No, I have not. Have you?" What could the master say? The evening sun was sending shafts of golden light into the room. Hundreds of sparrows were twittering on a nearby banyan tree. In the distance, one could hear the sound of highway traffic. A mosquito droned a warning that it was going to strike. And yet the student could say he had not found God. After a while, he left, disappointed, to search elsewhere. Anthony DeMello, who wrote the book about this, tells us, "Stop searching, little fish. There isn't anything to look for. All we have to do is look." So to bring wonder into our lives on a consistent basis, we must stop taking things for granted and look at them with a Zen mind as if we've never seen them before. What we have seen as just water or heard as just the drone of the mosquito becomes a magical experience, and we are immersed in wonder. And from that place, we're moved to awe. Awe is defined as a feeling of reverential respect mixed with fear or wonder. Matthew Fox in The Coming of the Cosmic Christ says, "This fear is a reverential fear based on a realization of the greatness of our existence." Wonder allows us a glimpse into the transcendent, but it does not have to be a spiritual experience. Anyone can have a wow moment, but awe brings us into the mystery. We become part of it rather than an observer. Chinese poet Li Po says, "We sit together, the mountain and me, until only the mountain remains." And Ernest Holmes tells us, when we look upon the grandeur of a mountain, on the vastness of the ocean, or think about the bigness of things, we don't become lost in this bigness or this grandeur, but we do stand in awe before it. And when we do this, something deep within responds. Something within us embraces the ocean. Something within us melts into the mountain, and we become one with the mountain and with the ocean. So in other words, we're brought to an inner intuitive knowingness that we are part of this great vastness. Abraham Heschel puts it, "The universe is a score of eternal music, and we are its voice." Reverence for Life calls us to see all life as mystically connected. Wonder and awe become our experience of that mystic life when we see everything as bathed in the divine. But first we have to look. The disciple was always complaining to his master, "You are hiding this final secret of Zen from me." And he would not accept the master's denials. One day they were walking in the hills when they heard a bird sing. "Did you hear that bird sing?" said the master. "Yes," said the disciple. "Well, now you know I have hidden nothing from you." Yes. Anthony DeMello says, "If you really heard a bird sing, if you really saw a tree, you would know beyond words and concepts." What was that you said? You have heard dozens of birds sing and seen hundreds of trees? Ah, was it the tree you saw or the label? If you look at a tree and see a tree, you have not really seen the tree. When you look at the tree and see a miracle, then at last you have seen. Did your heart never fill with wordless wonder when you heard a bird in song? So this week, let's be guided by grace. And as we look through the lens of reverence, wonder, and awe, we too will be able to look at a tree and see a miracle. Thank you. Namaste.
If you'd like to stand, you're welcome to, or you can remain seated, however the mood strikes you. For I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. My mind is willing and my heart is open wide. I trust my instincts and let spirit be my guide. I vow to live a life that's real and pure and free. As I continue walking in this mystery, I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. There may be walls, there may be roadblocks in my way, but I can choose to take a higher path each day. And now I know that what I thought was safe and sound was only habit and regret that held me down. I will surrender to my greatest, highest good. I will release any fear that blocks my way. For every step I take is taken in pure faith, and I am stronger every moment, every day. And I'm all loving every moment, every day. I will surrender every moment, every day.
Pretty. Thank you. We hadn't done that one before, have we? Okay. It's time for our offering. Has to put that divine law of circulation in process. And I ask that you join me in our offering affirmation on the left-hand side of our bulletin. My gift goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless all that it touches. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I share generously of my good, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly, and so it is.
place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. All right, I'm the place where God lives. I am the place where God moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. Place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Thank you, sweetheart. I'm sorry. Oh, absolutely. Okay, thank you so much for your generosity that allows us to thrive here. I don't know the exact amount, but I do know that we had a campaign pledge budget goal of $100,000, and we have gone over that. So, so I don't know exactly how much, but I'm so grateful to everybody because it's just wonderful to see. We're not very big, but we sure are mighty. Thank you. And I also want to remind you that our Celebration of Life service for Lynn Green is tomorrow at 10:30. This is, Monday seems like a strange day, but it allows the people who worked at Ooh La La, where she loves so much, to be a part of our service, our celebration. So please join us for that. I think it's going to be very special. So now we'll close this portion out in prayer, and please join us for refreshments afterwards. I know that there is one divine intelligence, and it is right here, right now, expressing itself in each and every one of us. And I know that it is absolutely true that we are the place where God shows up in our love, in our compassion, in our joy, in our sharing, and in our sorrows. I know that we are blessed beyond measure to be part of this incredible spiritual family. And I allow myself to just bask in that. I give thanks for the opportunity to speak my word for each and every one of us, to know that wherever there is any kind of a discomfort, that the power and presence of God is right in that place. So I release these words with love, and just allow them to be, as we say together, and so it is. Thank you so much, and may we stand and sing Stand.
So let there be peace. I am a stand for peace. Let there be love. I am a stand for love. Let there be joy. I am a stand for joy. We are living a new world now. Let there be